Hey, I'm Scotty T from Your Comedy Minute. I have two fantastic comedians with me today. I'm going to start. Sean Collins is here first because he gets top billing. And even though Zahan Khursigara has been here before, Zahan, I got to pay royalty to, Sean. I apologize.
Well, thank you. I'm just happy to ride his coattails when he lets me.
Well, I'm going to get to that. Let's start at the beginning. Zahan, you were on before, and you are from Canada. You're born and raised around the Toronto area.
That's right. Yep.
And Sean, you are from Canada, but you moved to the UK. Is that right?
I did. Yeah, I moved there about 22 years ago. 20
Right.
years. Yeah.
But you were born and raised in Canada.
Yeah. Born and raised outside Ottawa.
Okay. How did you two guys meet?
He got a hold of me. I think social media has been kind to me in the last couple of years, and I've had quite a resurgence. And he got a hold of me to do. He messaged me several times. He messaged me about doing a tour and wanted to line up some shows and work together. And I said sure. So he lined up this tour that we're doing now, and it's good because he's learning still, so it's good to throw him
Yeah.
in venues he hasn't done before, and
You mentioned, let me just interject because you mentioned your social media, over 100 million views on
yeah,
social media. That's fantastic.
yeah. I mean, with the three platforms, yeah, one joke in itself, the I Day Women joke, has got it's almost 12 million views right
Yeah.
now. So
And
it's not.
I got to jump. I'm going to try and jump between you two guys. But Zahan was on 6 months ago.
Yep.
And at that point, Zahan was, you'd started, you did it 5 years ago, but getting back into it. And I got to tell you, buddy, you are kicking ass and taking names.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You always use the term I'm grinding, and you grind harder than anyone I think I've ever met.
I'm grinding, that's for sure.
He's got to work. He's definitely got a work ethic. It's nice to see. It's you have to now. It's more competitive than it was back in the day.
Yeah,
So
I love people that, don't whine and bitch, that just go for it. Just work hard, and that's what Zahan does.
Well, there's nothing we can do about the shitty stuff that happens, right? We just got to keep pushing forward.
Right, right, right. Now, I did mention you guys have a show tonight, and you have shows all week, and I think going on. You guys are just killing it.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think the time of year and stuff like that makes it difficult. So I'm always appreciative when people come out at this time, especially the way the world is fucked over and the cost of living for everybody right now is
Right.
ridiculous. So just getting people to come out now when they got to buy Christmas gifts is great. It's more of a challenge, but it's
Yeah,
still
and
nice.
Sean, you just got back to Canada like 5 days ago, right?
Yeah, yeah, we did. We've done four shows already. So
Yeah,
uh,
you guys posted some pictures of you guys going down the road in snow, and I thought, oh my God.
welcome back to Canada. Yeah, it's nice to be reminded.
We thought it was over.
Yeah,
Right.
and
Um,
God, if my comedy career ends dying on the way back from Windsor, then fuck me. It
yeah, that was pretty scary.
was. It was
I don't know
insane.
which was scarier, you driving or when he was driving and you're filming it.
He started filming it about 5 minutes before it got really intense.
It was good stuff. It was good stuff.
Yeah.
Um, Zahan, I'm gonna try and trip your trigger, and I'll do the same. If I say the word realtor, that's a problem.
Realtor is a pro. There's no E or I in there. It drives me nuts.
It's just a realtor.
Just a realtor.
Why
If
did
you
you?
say realtor,
Oh, I made a video I posted on social media where I was like, say it.
No,
he's
okay.
got a watermelon and he's got a knife in his hand. There's certain things. Yeah, he's like, say it correct. And Sean, I watched your comedy store set last night when I was eating dinner, and I spit out some food. I was laughing so hard at some of your stuff. Well, almost the whole thing. But you did a bit about kids, and an airplane. Do you mind doing a little of that for the folks?
The kid, oh, okay, I was particularly exhausted. I got to the airport and
Right,
I always feel, I'll do it as quick as I can, but I always feel for mothers that are going through hard times with kids and
right,
just in there, right? And the whole joke centers around the fact that single people don't get basically that sometimes there's nothing you can do and you just want the world to open up and swallow you whole. They're all staring at you. And this poor woman was dealing with a toddler that was bad, and this 22-year-old, as we were getting on the plane, just kind of very loudly to embarrass her, said, I guess no nap for me on the plane. And I just looked at him. I said, "You dick." And he looked at me and said, "What?" And I said, "She hasn't slept in 2 years and you're worried about not getting a nap on the plane. You know what? You doze off on the plane, I'm going to stick my dick in your ear." And that's all I said to him. And then everyone chuckled, security came, but I was able to continue my flight. We didn't get a wink of sleep the whole way.
I think that's the thing, because Zahan set this up, and I saw your pictures and stuff, and I just couldn't believe the stuff that was coming out of your mouth.
Yeah. Sound like my mom.
No, and Zahan does. You do some stuff as well. You got a little edgy too on stage that I
Yeah.
saw about the N word. You were talking about the N word.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was actually just some crowd work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just saying I can go as far as saying Packy because I'm brown, but I can't go
Yeah, right, right, right.
on your skin tone, right? Sean can only just say he's not even allowed to say white on stage. He's too white for
Yeah.
that.
Both you guys have mentioned uh, how crappy the world has gotten, and you guys are in Canada, and I can't help but mention about Donald Trump. I know, Zahan, that's going to trip a trigger with you. I was wondering, Sean, what happens when it mention Donald Trump to you?
I have my own views, my own political views on what's going on in the world, and
Yeah, just I don't do political humor. I was trying to, because Zahan went ape shit about Trudeau.
yeah, I mean, I'm more concerned with the state of politics where I live, which is in the UK right now,
Right.
um, the Trump tariff thing. It's all these things that are happening are just to crush the middle class, and that's what's going on right now. These
Yeah.
are they all, all these guys, I believe, are puppets for the corporations and for, behind the scenes. And right now, that's what they're squeezing. They're squeezing the middle class. We're going to end up with a very, very high end, rich society, and then
Right.
just people. And that's what it's going to be. And there's a lot of things coming that are scary. AI, what that's going to do to
Right.
the
Right.
workforce. So in the next year, there's going to be changes, and it's just whether how they go, I don't know, but I know I'm gonna try to make as many people laugh.
Yeah, and I apologize. See, I wanted to set it up because I really wanted to trip Zahan's trigger. Somebody gave this to me about 10 years ago. It's a Donald Trump talking
It's still
doll.
in the box, still is it still
No, look, it actually talks. You can press a button and he says shit.
That's
well,
awesome.
hold on to it, it'll be worth a lot.
No, I just had to break it out because and it's funny, you in Canada and you in the UK, before the election or even before that, if you mentioned Trump, boom, you divided. Half the room went that way.
I
And if
know.
you said Biden or Kamala Harris, half the room went that way.
But do you not think that right now that they want chaos anyway? So that division that they've stoked all the time, and they do
Oh
stoke it,
yeah.
is just exactly what they want. And it's people arguing over stuff that is irrelevant that it drives me crazy, I mean, as far as Trump goes, we'll see. I mean, I Biden was a mess, and Biden was just working.
Biden was Biden was completely fucking nuts. He was
Mine was asleep for the last 4 years.
Biden, If Biden was your uncle and walked through the front door, you would sit him down and put a blanket on him and then
Right,
shut him
right.
every 2 fucking hours. You
Take
wouldn't,
it easy, Grandpa. It's okay, Grandpa.
bring him his cards. He's going to play solitaire, like fuck, then that would be it. And then 11 o'clock, time to go. Oh, is
Yeah.
it?
Do
Yeah.
you have any ice cream, Grandpa? Do you want some ice cream?
Yeah, exactly.
uh, Sean, I'm going to ask you because Zahan was on before. Do you have a favorite show? And I know it's hard after all these years doing comedy. Do you have a favorite show, and then do you have a least favorite show?
Um, my my favorite ones that I enjoyed
I know, I
doing
know you want to say your comedy minute. I know this exact moment is you
for my stand-up, you mean, or just my
yeah,
favorite
yeah,
show?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm joking.
My comedy now was one that I worked hard on. That's the one with the orange background that everyone knows. And I actually went and lived in I lived in the wilderness for a while with my girlfriend just so I could write it and be away from that. But
Really?
I like
Okay.
all the big ones I worked hard to get. The Just for Laughs one was wonderful. I got to meet Brad Garrett from Everybody Loves Raymond, and
Okay.
he ended up calling my parents because they were fans and sending him stuff, which was nice. And then getting the one in on BBC in the UK was great. But I mean, those are all great and dandy. As far as best shows, sometimes small intimate shows can be more memorable
Right,
and
right, right.
because you really, we did one in like the one we did in Windsor was lovely, and
Okay.
everyone that came knew me, and that's the difference when you're touring as opposed to doing a comedy night when you're doing solo shows and touring them. Although it's more difficult at times to get bums on seats, it can be. Well, the ones that come have seen your comedy, so they're all you almost can't offend them because they're already with you. You don't have to explain to them who you are. Excuse me. So that's where I'm at
Save the
now.
big pieces. We'll make soup.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so yeah,
Hey, I don't
I
mind the itching, but I hate the swelling, Sean.
I do enjoy it. I do enjoy like tonight in Delhi. I did it once before, so they're coming back. The thing is sometimes I go on tangents and I can't remember what I did the show before. So they always go, "Are you
Okay.
changing it up?" I'm like, "Yeah, I usually do, but I can't remember what I had for fucking lunch yesterday, let alone what show I did an hour a year ago. So
Yeah.
I was here in February, but fingers crossed, everybody comes back, and
Yeah.
I writing. So
What about worst show? You said best and worst.
fuck, worst show.
Do you remember that one? Did that one stick out?
Yeah, one that sticks out was I
Thank you,
got
Zahan. You're
I
doing
got
my work for me.
I booked early on in my career at a strip club.
Go ahead and say it was last night with Zahan. It sucked. Zahan was a jerk off.
Back in the 90s when we used to just get gig sheets, I was on tour doing one, and one of the gig sheets didn't have a name of the venue. And I thought, why doesn't it have a name of the venue? And as we drove close, I saw the neon ass bent over, and I knew it was a strip club. So I
Right.
went in, and the guy had never done comedy before, and I walked in. He said, "Yeah, you can go on after the woman who shoots ping pong balls out of her
Out of her
vagina."
pussy, yeah.
Oh God! And I went on. I walked up, and it was the most honest, direct heckle I've ever got because it was also during the day. So day strippers and that it's not good. Like if you have bacon and eggs and then decide that you need to go see strippers, like that's like you've given up early. So
I think I
day.
agree with you, Sean. I think strippers are more of a nighttime thing. I tell you another
I
thing
like
that
to
kind
think
of
I'd
trips
give
my
it a
trigger
go before. Yeah.
when they serve food in a strip joint. I've never eaten food in a strip joint.
No.
I don't go to a strip joint to eat. Well, very daddy.
Best heckle ever, though, dude. I walked out on stage and this drunk guy in the front looked up and went, "You're not a woman." And I said, "I know." And he goes, "Then what the fuck are you doing here?" And I said, "I don't know." And then
Yeah.
he goes, "How long are you in for?" I said, 30 minutes. And he grabbed his cigarettes, walked out, stood at the glass door looking at his watch while I was on. I died on my ass for about 29 minutes. And he opened the door and went, "You, fuck off." And that was the end of the gig. So I got paid and left. Called my agent and I said, "Why the fuck did you book me there?" And he goes, "Well, did he give you the cash?" And I said, "Yeah, I got the cash." He goes, "There you go. You made
Yeah.
cash." and it wasn't the worst thing you could have done at 12. And I said it was pretty much the worst fucking thing I could have done.
I had another guy on that played a strip joint and had similar results.
Yeah, you can't. Men that are going to look at vagina do not want to listen to some
Yeah.
dude.
I
1-800 bad idea,
about 2 months ago,
right?
but it was the second floor, so they have apparently a male strip club upstairs. And it was night they didn't have the men going, so we went upstairs, and nobody showed up. There was like four people who came. People aren't coming to a strip club to watch a comedy show. You can't tell your girlfriend, "Oh, I'm going to a comedy show. Where is it? Oh, it's over at the strip club." Right?
Yeah.
It's not so.
But it does work the other way for half the audience. If they think they're going for a comedy show and a woman with large tits comes out and bends over on the stage, the women will be upset, but the men will go, "Well, wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's see what the punchline is first."
Right,
You
right.
know, this could just be a
Maybe
big
ping pong
setup.
balls up there.
Yeah, it could be a big setup. Maybe she just rolls around naked for 29 and then boom, hits you with that punchline.
Zahad, you've been doing, and I gotta admit, I mentioned the one about realtor versus realtor, but you've been doing more and more Instagram stuff, and I just love it. I gotta tell, and your following has jumped. I'll bet you from when you were on last time, 6 months. I don't know how many thousand, but my God, you're killing it over on Instagram.
Yeah, it's slow and steady. Not quite at Sean levels yet, but I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, there's a
Content.
difference, 5 years, 34 years. It's like me, having you on, I'm not worried about it. Having Sean on, now I'm scared as shit.
Right. You gotta do a little research before you talk to Sean and me. You're like,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah,
There's
no, it's
respect. There's a certain amount of respect I feel. Like I mentioned you guys before we started recording, I had George Wallace a week or so ago, and I got to tell you, I was nervous as hell. And he
Yeah.
made fun of me. He said, "What the hell are you nervous for me for? It's George Wallace, for God's sakes." That was a
absolutely.
big deal.
Oh man, that was yeah. I saw those previews that you posted
Yeah,
for
it's
that.
coming up this week.
I look forward to watching that one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to for you
How
to
old
see
is
it.
George now?
Sean, you did some bits again. I went through not just your that special from the comedy store, whatever, but you did some bits about marijuana.
Yeah.
You're happy to be back in Canada,
Yeah, it's funny because um, I do that for the more for the Canadian audience because it's
right?
still illegal in the UK. They're still living in the past in the UK. It's still frowned upon, and
I was wondering about that because here in the U.S., I mean, they have dispensaries, and I have a buddy of mine comes and brings it, and I smoke, and I'm happy as hell.
yeah. Whereas there, I got a buddy of mine. No, well, actually, no, I don't. I would never do it in the UK. And if any police are watching, I have never in my life. I only do it in Canada.
Yeah,
Uh,
right, right, right.
yeah, exactly. I would never do it in the UK. I live much more. I'm too busy helping at church.
Yeah, at home reading scripture and turning in early, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
Feeding orphan children, that kind of
No, and
thing.
I didn't mean no, and I was talking about your early experiences with marijuana. I think there was one about college, about an
oh,
exam
yeah.
or something. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I actually talked to the guy that was with me, Grenville Clark, who was the one. That was when I didn't study, and then this girl liked me. I was going to
Yeah, you,
study.
you had a choice. You had a choice.
Yeah, study or go with her, and I chose to go with her. But I've always done that. I've always,
I don't blame you.
yeah, that's just the way it's where you prioritize stuff. So
I I had 5 Fs on my report card.
there you
My
go.
father wouldn't even come to the school anymore.
And you know what? I'm on the other end now. It's really bizarre going in and meeting the school when you're the parent. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I went in and they said to me, this really posh teacher, like with a English accent, went, and then your boy told me to fuck off. And I just was like, yeah, that's him. Yeah.
and Zaha just posted one the other day that I had to laugh at about the milk. You opened the refrigerator and the milk carton was empty.
Well, yeah, because I came down in the morning. My daughter was making cereal. I said, "Is there enough milk for me?" She's like, "No, it's all done." And then I come back down later in the day. I look in the fridge, the milk carton's in there, of course.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah,
I
I think that's what's so great. Particularly Sean, where I've watched a lot of your stuff, and Zahan, I know you're incorporating more of it, where you do, your kids and your family and real events. That's the stuff that I love.
Well, people can relate to it because they're going through it.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's been helping me with my set a little bit, trying to make it a little bit more relatable and more
right.
story oriented as opposed to just being jokes.
I just think people like the social media now and what it people like when you get a little bit personal and open up a bit and show a little bit of vulnerable, fuck it, you know the word I mean.
Yeah,
Vulnerability.
and I didn't mean this is hard for me because both you guys are so great. But Sean, you've done the same thing. Your Instagram, I watched a batch of your reels where you're just talking to the people,
Yeah.
and
I
it's
go
just great.
I go live and connect to people that way, ask them how they're doing. I quit alcohol 2 years ago after an Irish tour that almost killed me,
Yeah,
uh, and then went on a journey of telling them that I've decided to quit alcohol. I had to because of health reasons, and now people message me. I must get uh, thousands of messages of people asking for help and
yeah,
guiding them, talking to them, and yeah, I've
yeah.
been
You
doing
just posted a letter or whatever someone gave you at a show the other night on Facebook.
amazing. Yeah, brain
Yeah,
surgery, and was watching my clips when they were recovering, and he just wanted
yeah,
to thank me, came out and shook my hand, and I'm just like, yeah, that stuff is amazing, you know? So yeah, I mean, the people that were around, one person was crying when they saw it. So it was
yeah.
quite cool. Yeah.
Well, I just turned 62. And it's funny how when you get older, the more you stop a little bit and you don't. I know for me and Zahan, you've been such a great supporter of mine, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart
No problem.
that I stopped caring about the numbers and this and that. And I'm just having fun. I'm thankful for, each day and that, that like for instance, and I'm not blowing hot having you guys on today. Looking forward to recording this and having some fun. And, I know it hasn't been real fun so far, and that's my fault. But it's just no, I mean it. I wanted you guys to do more bits, but I run my mouth and I shoot myself afterwards.
Oh, don't fucking worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm having who cares, man? You're 62, man. Good for you. I'm 58.
Well,
So
you know what? As I always tell people, I got one foot in the grave and the other the banana peel. That's what my
yeah,
father used to say.
yeah.
I got a lot of heart problems and I'm on all kinds of pills and shit. And I tell people I probably will keel over. One of these days I'll be doing one of these and just drop down. Hey, I don't think Scotty's okay.
There was an English comic that an old friend of mine that died on stage, and it's exactly how he would have wanted to go. But
Yeah.
he basically was sitting down, and his head went forward, and they didn't know it wasn't part of a bit for about 5 minutes. So he was up there just on the stool with everybody wondering, Jesus, when's this punchline? What are we waiting for? And he just sat there, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, in the end, probably how he would have wanted to go anyway. He loves stand-up.
sure.
Did you want to go on stage?
No,
No.
no, I want it to be spectacular. I want it to be, explosion or something like that.
Oh, okay. I think my mind, Zion. What did you think when he said that?
I was thinking glitter. I don't know when he said spectacular.
I was thinking "Burp, burp, burp, burp." That I mean that would be the ultimate way to go out, wouldn't it?
What?
While you're getting a little head or she's going up and down.
No, fuck that, man.
You
No.
don't think?
I'm 58. I'm living with my ex-wife. I don't get any of that. Are you out of
Yeah.
your
Well,
mind?
I mean, if you had your choice, if that like
I
you're
don't know. I don't want to
52.
go out mid sex. I think I
No.
want to go out really, really old, gunshot to the back of the head.
Jesus Christ.
That way the brain shuts off immediately, don't have to think about it.
The only and
Boy, this is a comedy fucking festival here. We're talking about how we want to die. Okay. Hey, boy.
if you die during sex too, you're gonna fuck that person up for the rest of their lives. I mean,
What do I care? I'm dead.
yeah, but you're not gonna have an easy time with it after that.
Hey, I thought about that recently. I was really sick and I thought, I'm going to die. And, it's not the dying. It's the, in other words, if you die, fuck it, you're gone. There's nothing that doesn't matter. It's the whole leading up to it, the breathing and not sure if you're going to make it. I'd sooner just kick the fuck off.
Oh yeah, I want to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
quick for sure.
I'm
Yeah.
glad. I think they just announced assisted living, assisted suicide.
And they have that in Canada for a few years now.
Oh, okay, good. Zahan, I may be coming up. I'll be staying with you for a day or two.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a long stay.
just just a day or two. Just a day or two.
Yeah, yeah.
So how is it? And I'm just curious because Zahan, I worked in the music business, and you have bands together and stuff. How's it been for you two guys so far?
It's been sort of half the size of the audience, I'm going to be honest with you, that I expected. And I don't know, because the last February tour I did, like basically sold out almost right away. And I'm just wondering, one, if it's the time of year, and two, if it's the state of the economy. But I think it's more likely the fact that December's coming and people are legitimately buying Christmas presents. That's the priority. But it was one thing that took me back, and it's been sort of, I think it will pick up, but we'll see. We'll
It's
do
been
the
a little
best we
bit
can.
stressful on that end, getting bums and seats, but I mean, as far as hanging out,
Yeah, I meant more that. But let me
yeah,
just address what Sean
yeah,
said. I have some friends that are in retail, like Lowe's and some of and the economy. And again, I'm equating the U.S. to Canada and maybe the UK. I don't know what it's like.
be
The
similar.
economy is shit.
Yeah.
The economy's really hard, and if people, Zahan, you did a bit about it. If you had a choice, with Trump's tariffs, you'll be paying. Christ, Americans are bitching about the cost of eggs. What about wood and shit like that?
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, but is it a bluff? That's the other thing with Trump. Is he using it sort of just to get his way? And
Yeah, who knows with that guy? I don't, just because I have the doll, I'm not a fan. I mean, but I do think a lot of that has to do with the economy. But Zahan, you were saying, and that's what I was getting at. How are you two guys getting along?
Well, it's only been 5 days, so I haven't pissed him off that much yet.
I was going to say, well,
Yeah,
the
bro.
last time you were on, I don't know if he knows him, but you said I asked you how you started doing comedy, and you said that Mark Trinidad, who I had on the show thanks to you,
Yeah,
said the first time you performed, you said, "Well, it wasn't the worst I've ever seen."
yeah, that's what he said. And how did I do? Well, it wasn't the worst first time I've ever seen. It was all right.
no, mine was the worst first time ever. They shut the microphone off on me and asked me to get off the stage.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, I had an open mic night. To do that bad that they actually won't let you finish your five. Just like, and it was funny because Craig Campbell, all the other comics were being nice to me, and I've been friends with Craig Campbell ever since. But I came off, and they were all going, "Oh, that was all right. I thought it was really good." And then I walked back, and Craig was headlining the open mic night, and I walked by him, and he went, "Jesus, that sucked." And I said, yeah, and that's when I knew I liked him, because he was honest. He goes, "I wouldn't even come back here next week, but it's up to you." Right. And
Right.
I'm just like, okay, I like him. And I ended up hanging out with him afterwards. And at
Yeah.
least he was honest, because it sucked. I hate when people come up and go, "Well, maybe it was," no, it was awful. It was fucking awful. I brought a little piece of paper up because I was so nervous, put it on the stool. Somebody opened the door, and then the wind took my paper off into the crowd. So the opening thing was me losing my entire set. So then I went into fucking panic mode, trying to wonder if I should run off and go get the piece of paper that's on the floor. Then I thought, well, I only have 5 minutes. I better stay up there. And then I thought to myself, well, fuck, I haven't said anything. Perhaps I should fucking say something here. And then when I did, it was all muffled. And then the guy just said very loudly over the speaker, "Could you get off the stage, please?" And the only laughter I got, I leaned into the microphone and went, "Sorry." And everybody laughed at that. So my whole set was me standing like a moron and then apologizing for standing like a moron.
And if you watch Sean sets now, you'll see he only sits, and I think that might be why.
Yeah.
Well, in Zahan, I used this expression last time. I don't know if you remember it, but when they say, well, when that's like saying, for a fat girl, you don't sweat much.
Right.
I'd seen her. Man, Scotty, you were terrible. You look up terrible in the dictionary. There's a picture of you. Um, well, guys, listen, I don't know that we have a lot of time left, but I want to make sure that we cover everything. When you finish, Sean, are you heading back to the UK?
Yeah, I'm shutting down for a little while, so
Okay.
getting back and enjoy Christmas. My kids got a puppy, so I'm gonna go back and see the
I did
dog.
see that. Oh, what an amazing, cute little dog.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that, and yeah, just gonna shut down for Christmas. I got a couple of gigs when I get back. I think I have one on the 21st and one on the 28th, but they're close to home, so
Well, if you like it, and we get rid of this idiot over here, come back on when you get back to the UK, and I'll have you on separate. You and I can catch up and do some
yeah, I'll,
stuff.
I'll do one with you from the UK if you want.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Boy, you're sharp as a bowling ball, for shit's sake.
I exactly like I'm the thinker.
I smoked pot for a month one night.
I lost my keys in my pocket.
Yeah, no, I still, I always inhale. Zahan, what about you? What do you got ready for the holidays? I know you have a mistletoe belt.
Oh, you know it, buddy. I don't have much going on. After this, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna shut down a bit for the holidays.
Yeah.
And then in the new year, got some shows with Louis J. Gomez and Dave
Okay.
out of New York. They're gonna be coming up in the new year. We'll do some more shows with
Okay.
those guys, and hopefully Sean's gonna come back in the new year and film his special. So I'm hoping to be helping
Okay.
that. And yeah,
Well, again, please, Sean, mention anything that you got coming up. You got a special coming up?
We're just trying to nail down a date to do it in February in Ottawa, in my hometown. So
Okay, wonderful.
we're
Well, that'd
talking.
be a perfect time. And beforehand, I'll get you on and we'll promote the hell out of it.
That would be lovely.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
yeah. Because
I'll try to be funnier and more sharp next time, all right?
no, and it's my fault, because part of it is I like the interview aspect of it, but I'm like later going, well, why didn't we do more bits? But I've had comedians on that don't like to do their bits. They
I
give
don't
away their material.
I
No,
don't
I'm
care.
being serious.
I know.
I
But
had one guy tell me I'm not doing any jokes on Zoom, Scotty. I'm like, well, what the fuck did you come on for? He wouldn't do one joke. He did not do one joke the whole time.
do you know Adam Mueller? He's a Canadian guy, lives in New York. He's a comedy seller guy, and I've done a few shows with him when he's up here. And one thing he always says, because he records every single night, and
Right?
he'll post the same jokes from different clubs every couple of days. He's like, the people who are seeing it are people who haven't seen it before, and they come to my shows. They've seen a couple of clips, but they haven't seen them all. He's like,
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 8 years, and I still do this stuff for my first and second special on stage. Nobody's ever come to me and goes, I heard that joke before.
Yeah. No, I feel that way. I went and saw a guy that I admired back from Letterman days, Jeff Altman, and I knew everything he was doing, but I still loved it just because it was seeing him live and he was right there.
yeah.
I
Absolutely.
think there's something about the live, because you can and Lewis Black and Rodney Dangerfield, some of the guys I met, we get to talk to them afterwards and get a little sense of what they're like.
I like Lewis Black.
I love Lou. Fuck!
Yeah.
He's I love angry comics, man. That's why I love you, Sean. You're an angry comic. I love angry comics.
I like Lewis Black when he was on The Big Bang Theory as the
Oh
insect.
yeah, I just love him.
Right in that.
He was a great guy too.
Yeah.
Hey, did you ever see? I want to get to your comedy minute. One of you guys is going to do a your comedy minute for me. I don't know if he told you anything about it, but his first special, Lewis Black's first HBO special, he's walking down the road and somebody says, "How you doing, Mr. Black?" He goes, "How the fuck do you think I'm doing?" Right? So when my son got to meet him, my son's a little smartass like your son, Sean. My son and I go up, and my son looks and goes, "How you doing, Mr. Black?" And Lou kind of leaned back, and I was like, "Let him have it. Let him have it." He goes, "I'm doing good, son. I'm doing good." I was like, Lou, Lou,
Yeah.
Lou.
Should have ripped into him.
Yeah, I wanted him to give my son a blast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, Zahan, you did one last time, unless you got one. Let Sean do it.
Undo it.
Sean Collins, your comedy minute. Go ahead, my friend.
What do I have to do? A bit in a minute?
Whatever you got. It can be more than a minute. Whatever you got. Just what your favorite story. Anything that makes you laugh, Sean. Anything at all.
All right. I will do the worst. You guys were talking about the worst possible gig. I was thinking about this. After we shut down for the pandemic, I got a corporate event and I went to it. And this was actually in a desperate time where I was actually getting some money. So I was really happy. On the way to the event, my car started to overheat. And
Okay.
then it broke down on a road. I didn't even know where I was, right?
Right.
So I called and told them it might be difficult. I'm waiting for for them to come by and check it. And then my stomach started growling, and it dawned on me that it wasn't a normal growl, that I was going to need to go to the toilet, and there was nothing around. So I ended up going into the trunk of my car, getting out an old shopping bag to use, and went to this field area where I sat down thinking this can't get any worse. And as I was going, this elderly woman in an English accent went, "Are you okay?" And I looked up and realized that I was shitting on her property and she was walking her dog, right? So when she said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm doing great." And she just kind of looked at me, right? And we had this awkward moment, and then she kind of left, and then I left, went to the gig, which was
Oh
awful,
no. Oh
corporate,
no.
and then asked an Asian guy in the front row a simple question. I said, "Where are you from?" And when he didn't answer, I said, "What are you, a spy?" And I didn't think anything of it. And then I got a call from the agency who said, "Yeah, we're not going to pay you because the Asian guy said you called him a communist and he's lodged a complaint." And I said, "I didn't call him a communist. I said, are you a spy?" And she said, "Yeah, well, he complained." So the car cost me
You're going to
seven.
run out of time, unfortunately. I
Yeah,
apologize. No, I'm sorry. I only have the free version of Doom. It's probably going to run out of time.
but that's it. So I did not get any paid for the gig. The car
Right.
cost 1,700, and I shit in an old lady's field. So that was my comeback to comedy.
Well, let me stop the recording. Maybe we can chat for a second. If not, I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Hold on.